Just one day after George Floyd died, after having his neck knelt on by a white police officer in Minneapolis, a white man confronted a group of African-American entrepreneurs while using their private office gym. The confrontation was caught on video and showed the man, who was also a tenant in the building, demanding proof the men belonged there before he appeared to call the police.
I'm a tenant in the building. Are you?
We're all tenants in this building.
What office?
Don't worry about that. We don't have to tell you.
What office?
So we have an office here, and this guy came accusing us we can't be here.
What office are you in?
Don't worry about that. We don't have to tell you anything.
Calling 911 then.
Go ahead.
Co-leaders of marketing business top figure Salman Elmi and Abdi Hassan are the businessmen and tenants in that building that were subjected to the racial profiling. They spoke to me from Minneapolis via Skype a short time ago.
We were just shook, I just couldn't believe what we were experiencing in the moment, so much was going through. But the biggest thing for us is how we handled ourselves, not to give him the reaction that he expected, not to give him, weapons to use against us, not to give him any of the reaction he wanted, We just stayed calm, collected, and just, we knew what we were experiencing in the moment, and it's all about how you handle yourself.
You were incredibly polite to him. And obviously, was it one of you filming or was it one of your friends who was with you filming?
Yeah, my colleague, our other business partner was filming.
Yeah, so you were incredibly calm and super polite to him. But doesn't it make you angry when that happens to you? And does it happen very often?
Yeah, it's definitely it's easy to get angry when it happens. It happens quite often to a lot of people like us, just trying to make it in the business world. It's already hard it is for us, and facing, racism and being profiled is already extra weight, that we shouldn't have to deal with. It's not fair that we're having to deal with things like this, but we understand it's our reality. There's nothing we can do about it. There's nothing we can, there's not a formula to get rid of it. We're going to keep facing it. We just have to the main reason was for our voice to be heard and for people to know how to handle themselves in situations like this, because it is going to keep happening. This isn't the first time. This isn't going to be the last time. And it's going to continuously be happening. And it all comes down to how we handle ourselves.
So this happened the day after George Floyd was killed?
The day after. That's the shocking reality. We did not expect this to happen. And the crazy and sad part is, the gentleman told us, we were shocked, and we asked him, hey, did you were you, aware of this situation happening? Were you aware of the Amy Cooper situation in New York? And he was sadly, he said, I don't watch the news. I don't watch the news because it's a bit depressing. And we're you really have to pay attention to things that are happening. And really, it's crazy. It's wild.
There's no way he knew what's going on. He knew with everything. There's no way he would have not known. With everything, he definitely knew what was going on with everything, and he knew when he made that threat, what he was doing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Has there been any repercussions in terms of what's happened? Has anything happened to him?
Yes, so we've learned that and the building owner of the property reached out to us, was so kind, and letting us know that, hey, yes, you guys do belong, and this is. This behavior can't be tolerated. And, we've learned that his lease has been terminated from the building.
So there's been a lot going on in your part of the world recently, and the marches in Minneapolis. What do you make watching that? And have you been part of any of the marches?
We have, yes. Just a few 2 days ago, we were part of the largest protest here that was happening, and it's one thing, you see these kind of things online, really, and especially, from the countries that our parents are from, you see this unrest, and being in America, our parents escaping that and coming here and start seeing burnt buildings, and burnt down, police killings and this kind of stuff happening in a really developed, you would think a really developed part of the world. And it's crazy to see that stark reality happening in your own backyard.
I've seen something that you've posted, and it talks about the fact that, you don't condone violence of any kind, do you mean, from anyone? with any views.
Absolutely, yes. And the thing is, it's very important because the thing is, violence isn't the answer to anything. It's not going to solve anything. It's going to really not. It's going to decredit, what your message is. You're not going to be able to really address situations like this. You're not going to, because you can't fight fire with fire. You have to, you have
use
to
other tactics.
Yeah, you have to fight it with positivity, love, and understanding, because we don't know what people are going through. We don't know what their minds, contain, and that hate or we just don't know it. So we have to be able to show a different and a positive light.
Exactly. And just to add on to that, as he mentioned, we don't know how, people, what they're going through is when people agitate you and get you upset, they want a reaction. That's the biggest thing, When you give them a reaction, you gave them exactly what they're looking for. Then you become the problem, not them. You become the problem because you escalated things, So the way you got to handle yourself is you have to be calm. You have to stay collected. And it's very hard. Don't get it wrong. It's not something easy to do. It wasn't easy for us to just hold our mouth at that moment, bite our tongue. We knew there's a bigger message. We knew the world is going to see this eventually, that there's people like this who is in the VC world, So he's actually handling money and investing in people. And think of how many people he turned down just because of their skin color,
Hey, what has been the reaction? Because obviously we live, thousands of kilometres away, and we saw the video, we saw what happened. What has been the reaction?
We've got an overwhelmingly amount of support, especially from our socials, our Instagram, our emails have been flooded with so much support, and people just all across the world saying, hey, we're with you. You guys do belong, and it was amazing to see that, and it really was, set a good place in our heart, and it was a really good positive message that people were giving us. Of course, there's some trolls, but overall the message was good, very positive.
What do you think the protests that are happening at the moment? What will they change? What is going to happen? Do you think?
It's changed a lot. We're in a time of history. We're making history right now, with all the riots, all the looting. This country, it's going insane right now. And honestly, people are just fed up. People are just tired. There has been peaceful protesting. The message doesn't get heard. And now with riots, it got the attention of the president. It got the attention of the military. It's getting the attention of everybody. So the court systems and everybody they're going to take these things into consideration now, moving forward. They have to put things in place. They have to actually start making things fair to a certain extent, Justice is going to eventually be solved, but the people did get hurt, with everything that's been, but they definitely did get hurt. There's no more quiet, there's no more behind the scenes, so it's definitely out there now, and we're definitely not promoting it, but honestly, I think this was the only way to get the attention, with everything that's going on. We live in a country that's moving so fast that 1 second, the next thing comes, the next thing comes, the next thing comes. So it's like finally people were they just seeing how traumatizing George lost his life, very sad, probably one of the saddest things I've witnessed, to take another human being's life like that. Very sad, very sad. So the message definitely got heard by the whole United States.
And the world.
In the world.